Now, this is the neighborhood where the dog attack occurred. Now, Tyrese Gibson, of course, owns those 4 big Cane Corso dogs.
I was so confused. I'm like, why is my dog not breathing, and why is he wet? I panicked. He had broken ribs and that he had taken a huge amount of crushing force.
Actor Tyrese Gibson is taking full responsibility for a fatal dog attack as we're learning more about this case and his dogs. The Fast and the Furious actor is finding himself as a trending topic this morning. Here's why.
I've been in here for 4 hours. My ribs are showing. I don't know about y'all, but I'm out.
I wouldn't recommend that.
What?
Well, thanks to your botched Berlin job, you all made Interpol's top 10 most wanted list.
Top 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Well, not you, Roman.
Tyrese Gibson, known for his recurring role as Roman in the Fast and the Furious movie franchise, is a wanted man this morning in Georgia for cruelty to animals. That's right, a warrant was issued by police for what they call an ongoing issue with the actor whose 4 Cane Corso dogs were causing safety concerns, police say, near his Atlanta mansion. Now, this was some footage released to TMZ by the Fulton County Police Department showing Gibson's dogs roaming free in his neighborhood. Moments later, police believe that the dogs rushed over to a neighbor's home while another dog was being let out, and police believe that's what led to the attack. Now, Gibson's attorney issued a statement after the incident, sending condolences to the family for their loss and reassuring that Gibson will take full responsibility for his dogs. In another statement to the Associated Press, the attorney representing Tyrese Gibson said that he is fully cooperating with authorities to address and resolve the matter responsibly. So this morning, we're asking, why hasn't Tyrese turned himself in to clear that warrant and clear this mess up? This is awful. Let's bring in our power panel. With me, high-profile attorney John Phillips, entertainment commentator Holland Reed, and retired police lieutenant and canine expert Mike Gould. Good morning to you all. Oh my, Lieutenant, let's start with you. You're the owner of Houndstown USA. Dogs are your life. You were the commander of the Nassau County Police Canine Unit. Nobody loves dogs more than you. Your thoughts on this tragedy?
Right. So thank you for having me, Julie. So this isn't upsetting to me. This is infuriating to me because this is not a case of criminal intent. This is a case of ignorance, whether it's a celebrity or my neighbor next door. If they don't, it's never, when I testify in court regularly on very, very similar cases, sometimes involving children, adults, my opening statement always is, it's never the dog. It's always the dog owner. This was mismanagement. It has nothing to do with training. These are 400-pound predators that don't really necessarily see very well. They're triggered by movement. So unfortunately, this little dog looked like a prey item, and they killed him, and it's very unfortunate. The truth is, small children are the #1 victims of these things. So I'm beside myself. We care for 4,000 dogs a day at our Houndstown facilities throughout the country, including Cane Corsos, Mastiffs, Rottweilers. 3 things. In real estate, it's location, location, location. With dogs, it's socialization, socialization, socialization. This should have never happened. And if anybody ever reached out to me involving this case, I'll tell you they do not need to be euthanized.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, and Lieutenant, I got to ask you the follow-up. Tell me why not?
Because we know that they're not inherently vicious, or they wouldn't have lived as long as they have, 1 or 2 years. When they got out of their enclosure, their yard, they're free roaming a pack of animals, working with their natural pack instincts. So, Julie, dogs don't make moral decisions. They're incapable of that. So they don't know the little dog from a rabbit. When they bite humans, they don't know the burglar from your next door neighbor again. So this was mismanagement. It's not training. If these dogs separately were properly managed, and which they should be rehomed. I guarantee you, they do not need to be euthanized. And they work. Our little French bulldogs at home, when you squeak a squeaky toy, their instincts to kill it are triggered, and they do. They take the squeaker out of it. So these are all dogs. But if we have 4 French bulldogs, they're not going to cause any damage. I don't think they'll be able to our dogs wouldn't even be able to bite our ankles, Julie. So yeah, this gets me crazy.
Boy, really appreciate this. Is helpful insight. Lieutenant Gold, thank you so much. You mentioned location and socialization. Holland Reed, of course, I want to go to you on this. You are Miss Atlanta. You know Atlanta so well. You're beloved there. This is where this happened. Really nice. The Buckhead area. Would you kind of describe for us what this area is like? A lot of celebrities there, right?
Absolutely, Julie. Good morning. And you are a dog lover, as am I. I have to give a shout out to Woodford and Hugo, my babies. They're with their mom right now. But my dog Woodford was an anti-leash dog, and we got in a lot of trouble with that. When you live in a really nice neighborhood in Atlanta, first of all, Atlanta and Georgia alone, they do not play with these dog laws, the leash laws. You have to have your dog on a leash. This is a owner's worst nightmare on both sides of the coin. And Cane Corsos are not to be played with. I have several friends that have them, and I'm not saying that I'm terrified of them, but you don't know, as with the previous guest just said, it's not about, they don't know the differentiation between a rabbit or a small animal. They're going to go into attack mode or defense mode, whatever they're feeling. They do not have that moral compass. But yes, Atlanta is not to be played with. Georgia is not to be played with when it comes to the dog laws. Keep your dogs on a leash. Dog parks as well. That's why they keep them separate in a lot of these parks. They have the small dog area and the big dog area for that reason. Right. A great point, Holland. Yeah. And something that we confirmed this morning is that there has been, at least in the meantime, rehoming of those Cane Corsos. So we know that much. So that seems like one step in the right direction. But John Phillips, I want to go to you on the legal point here. The warrant, we still have the outstanding warrant here. Talk to me, John, your thoughts.
It's an interesting case. When you first hear animal cruelty, you think of, and particularly in Georgia, you think of Michael Vick. You think of somebody doing something to harm animals or put animals in harm's way. And actually what Georgia law says is if you cause pain, suffering, or death to an animal through unjustified acts, omissions, or neglect, then you have this. And these Cane Corso dogs are like bodybuilder dogs. Like they're big dogs. And by contrast, the victim dog was a Cavalier Spaniel. We have a Cavapoo named Bailey. Like they're beautiful, beautiful dogs, and small. And so you have all of the things for this misdemeanor to be proven. And I think they wanted to, Tyrese and his legal team wanted to regroup and try to get ahead of it. And here we are.
Great points, John. So we saw a little picture of the dog that was killed. His name was Henry. Court TV was able to speak to Henry's owner. He describes for us his frustrations with Tyrese Gibson, with the safety issues that were created by these dogs running loose. Let's take a listen.
The dangerous animals. And Mr. Gibson was very aware of that. And the fact they were out like 5 times before, sometimes during the day, they could have gotten into somebody just walking their dog on the street. Yeah, it's inexcusable. It's a different ballpark, right? Like this is somebody who just knowingly did not care and was also aware of what they're capable of. I mean, it's just those two things that come together that makes this so, in my opinion, heinous.
Oh my, this is just so sad. That little dog, Henry, that was killed was a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Oh my gosh, is he precious. He looks like a stuffed animal. He's so cute. This is heartbreaking, and our next question to the power panel is how in the world does Tyrese Gibson make up for this? He promised to try to take full responsibility for everything. He's fully cooperating, but the dog can't be brought back. John Phillips, let me start with you this time. Legally, how do you fix things?
You got criminal, civil, the court of public opinion. The criminal is a misdemeanor, and they're going to watch and see what happens between him and the victim. The civil, in most cases, a dog's value is actually its retail value. It's not the pain, it's not the suffering, it's not a family member. And you have a victim here that's truly upset. And so there needs to be some, collaboration and apology that's meaningful. And then you have the court of public opinion, which is what we're dealing with right now. So justice is spelled one way, it's defined many different ways. And Tyrese Gibson and his team have a long way to go to make this right.
Yeah, they really do. Holland, I would love to ask you about that. The sentiment coming from people in Atlanta, in the communities, in the Buckhead community in particular. What are you hearing in terms of people responding to this incident?
I just in a few private conversations, again, it is the worst fear of an owner. But I also want to kind of touch on one tiny thing. Having these big, very massive, very muscular dogs, as was stated, is a status symbol. And having those Cane Corsos and these extremely strong dogs, very, very aggressive dogs, so to speak, is a status symbol. But also having those little babies, those little stuffed, like the Cavapoos, my mother has one, is also a status symbol. But you got to be very clear and aware that these two breeds, these two status symbols are completely different beasts. So I think the conversation is leash your dog, keep your dog on a leash. Do not approach these dogs if you do not have permission by the owners. And also, as far as them roaming around in your neighborhood, your yard, having those systems in place that keeps everyone's status symbol protected.
Yeah, great points, Holland. Thank you. Lieutenant Gould, I want to end the segment with you. Would you take us home here? Your thoughts on how Tyrese Gibson fixes this damage?
Takes responsibility, gets educated, and frankly, just push back a little bit. I've never discriminated against a dog in the 50 years or 45 years I've been involved with dogs, including police canines. It's analogous to discrimination of humans. The dog brain is the dog brain, whether it's in the head of a Cavapoo or a pit bull. They are identical. The problem is their size and genetic predisposition, and when they're put in a pack, they hunt. That's what they do. We specialize in putting dogs in proper packs. Based on age, size, and temperament. We have, as I said, 30% of the dogs that come to Houndstown are all types of mutated dogs, whether they're German Shepherds. So it's not, again, just to emphasize, not the dog. He needs to take responsibility. Anybody watching this thinks these dogs are inherently dangerous. Of course, the pet owner does. They have to take responsibility. It's like handing a gun to a 5-year-old child. And so it's just mismanagement, simple, plain and simple.
Right. And I was saying, Lieutenant, because I'm looking at John Phillips's screen there. John, would you hold up again? Is that your little fur baby?
That's our little Bailey. That's our Cavapoo dressed as a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. So please don't say that's cruelty to animals. Making our poor dog a Jaguars fan.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Oh, what a little sweetheart. Yeah, I could talk with all of you about dogs all day. I was saying to my team, this is so heartbreaking because you feel for this dog owner who lost his little baby. That little Henry was just the cutest thing in the world. And like you said, Lieutenant, this is a really enlightening conversation that it's the people that need trained. Isn't that the moral of the story? The people need to be trained on the way to care for their dogs and manage their dogs. We can't fault the dogs for being bad. They need to be properly guided. Lieutenant, I wish you could come to my house and train my little French bulldog. She needs it. We'll leave it there. Lieutenant Mike Gould, Attorney John Phillips, entertainment commentator Holland Reed, thank you all so much.